secrets I used to get to 10.9 million followers over the last basically 2 years. So I did a talk on this, I think yesterday, but I wanted to go, there was a lot of questions. I had a party here, so I couldn't finish the whole talk. So I thought I'd go over some more things that I didn't cover. And yeah, it's gonna be good. Now, let me just say this, I said this yesterday, but listen to me. There is no, I had one of the top business professors in the world from New York, NYU, Stern Business School. And we were talking about the most powerful forces on earth. He wrote this book called The Four. It's the story, it's actually right here. And the hidden DNA of Amazon, Apple, Google, and Facebook. But I told him, and he agreed. I said, the most powerful force on earth to make money right now for you and I, because we can't all start Apples or Googles or Facebooks, is social media. And the proof is right here. This is a mind-blowing statistic. A 20-year-old sold $430 million in sales in 18 months selling makeup with no investors. And her name was Kylie Jenner. No company in history that we could think of, I asked this business professor, he couldn't think of one either, has ever grown that fast. The only company, maybe it's close by revenue numbers possibly, is, what's the one, Groupon. So if you can harness social media for yourself, you can cash in on some of the money. Right now, Mark Zuckerberg, okay, we're talking about this book, it's an interesting book before, but Microsoft, Facebook, Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, and Apple shareholders, these are all the wealthiest people in the world. Steve Jobs is dead, but he was wealthy. Facebook, Zuckerberg is worth over $60 billion. Instagram, Kevin Systrom, billion. Evan Spiegel, worth multiple billions for Snapchat. Google founders Larry Page, Sergey Brin, they're so wealthy. In fact, I had a billionaire friend of mine over at my house named Naveen Jain, and he has an island, and they have an island too. These guys all have islands, and you know how they built it? They built it with your pictures that you upload of your family, reunion, your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, your food you're eating, all that stuff you post on social media makes these four companies, Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Apple, the wealthiest companies by far in history. So what should you and I do? You should cash in on it yourself. You don't have to do Kylie Jenner did this in 18 months. Can anybody here, I challenge you, name a company that actual sales were faster than $430 million in under 2 years? Can we think of anyone? Doomsday brand, nobody, zero. This jacket, someone's asking, this is Dolce blazer. And this is, you can tell Paul Smith is, they got the little colorful stuff. Blaze Pizza, no, Blaze Pizza is worth about 100 million bucks. They're doing well, but okay, so let's talk about how do you do it, what's some specific techniques. I'm gonna talk some about what I talked about yesterday because I didn't have time to finish it. And I'll talk about some of it today. I'm gonna open up later, I will open up this test group that I just started, literally yesterday. For those of you, if you want me to personally manage your social media growth, I've been asked to do that for years. I've never done it, except I started yesterday, and I said I'm gonna open it up for a little while here. And yeah. All right, so let's jump into this. I'm just gonna do a little survey. Who here has the most cutting edge social media growth idea? Let's see if anybody has one before I go into mine. Anybody, if you had a gun to your head and you had to grow your social media following by 10,000 followers in the next 30 days, what would you do? Let's just see. We'll crowdsource the information. Someone said, is this really live or replayed? Yes, pinch myself. I'm actually alive. Somebody said, post a lot, buy followers, have Donald Trump Twitter. Now, I'm not talking about, let's exclude anything like buying fake followers. Obviously, people do that, but fake followers, what's the point of having fake followers? You can't, Kylie Jenner, if she had fake followers, there's zero chance a bot is going to buy your makeup kit or whatever you were selling. Somebody said to create viral video content. Okay, how do you create viral video content? Post very interesting stuff that people like. Who here has ever posted something good, had a small social media following, and still not had it go viral? I mean, people post good stuff all the time, so that sounds good. That doesn't work so well. It is important what you post, but just posting good, something awesome, trust me, you could go hang gliding, you could do a backflip, and maybe it'll go viral, but there's a lot of people posting backflips. So I will tell you, what I did, I started really messing around with social media in like 2012, and now, I've got, 6 billion on Facebook, on my verified Facebook, and I've got YouTube's over 1 million, Twitter's over 1 million, Instagram's just past 2.7 million. So Snapchat, they don't show your followers, but I have one of the bigger Snapchats, I think, in the world. So I can tell you from personal experience, if 2012, I just posted something that was awesome. It didn't get many likes. It didn't necessarily go viral. It's not guaranteed. You can try it, but okay. So here's what I recommend. Number one, you got to understand this concept. So you must, before you can really go big, and there's a few exceptions to this, but they're rare. Most of it, you need what's called a critical mass follower count. You need a minimum, because here's what happens. People see your video. You post one, I just posted one on Instagram. Here's an example. I posted an Instagram video, I don't know, let me see. This one I posted 3 days ago. Sorry, last week, 6 days ago. It's got 1.2 million, whatchamadoodles, views, right? In 6 days. So if I had done that in 2012, that exact same video, it might have gotten 10,000 or 1,000. So this is humans' activity on social media. What they do is, here's a post by Shaquille O'Neal, basketball player. It's on my feed just randomly. If you go, what people do is let's say they saw this. This has a picture of Biggie, the rapper. Okay? So let's say they didn't know who Shaq was. Let's say he wasn't a basketball player. Let's say you posted this picture from a long time ago when you were hanging out with Biggie randomly. Maybe you were like a valet or something. So you post that picture. What people do, before most people choose to follow, because look how Instagram works. In order for me to follow this account, if I don't follow it, most people click into it. First thing they do is look up there on your follower count, because they want to see if you're a credible source. Now there's so many social media accounts, there's billions. People want to differentiate it. No one wants to follow. It's kind of like the popular kid in high school. It's easy for him to stay popular because everybody sees the social proof that the other people like that person. You don't even know why you like that person, but in high school you're like, oh, that person's so cool because everyone else in the high school thinks it's cool. Is this replaying? No, Tony Rodriguez, this isn't me right now. This is why it's called live. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Okay, so what you need when people click, and just be honest, have you ever gotten a DM from somebody, a message from somebody on Instagram, Twitter, wherever, Facebook, YouTube, and you went and you looked at their follower count? Let's just be honest. Say yes or no if you've ever looked at a follower count. Yes, yes, yes. And let's see, I wonder if anybody's gonna be, somebody said nope, never. I'm having a hard time believing you, but maybe one. So far the ratio is about 10. Somebody said always. Geraldo said a lot of time. Big Mac Skittles said no. The baseball club on Instagram said, of course. So, what is the minimum amount of followers to create critical mass? We need to know the minimum. And I would say it's different for different platforms. But I'm going to give you just some free, valuable content. I'm going to say the minimum threshold, in my opinion, the minimum threshold that I would want is just write that number down, 10,000. So if you have 10,000 followers on Instagram, now you can get more than that. This is, remember, the minimum threshold to achieve critical mass. You need 10,000. On YouTube, maybe a little bit less. You need it definitely on Facebook. You definitely need it on Instagram. Twitter, somewhat. Somebody said, I am very good looking. Can I get followers for that reason? Bhagat Singh. No, you need this to listen to what I'm saying, Bhagat. You need a minimum, because just because you're good looking, there's a lot of good looking people on social media. I've seen one of the prettiest girls that I know in the world. She is pretty, trust me. I've been around some pretty women. This girl, she has like 2,000 followers. I have no idea, because she keeps her account private. She's, first time I ever met her, my cousin, this girl came, this is years ago, came over to my house, and my cousin walked up, and my cousin Maya doesn't ever do this, the only time in history. I was upstairs, she's like, Todd, you should come meet this girl. I'm like, why? She's like, this is one of the prettiest girls on the planet. And then we went out salsa dancing that night, and I remember the club manager came up to me, he said, listen to me, man, I'm gonna give you life advice, Ty. I don't know who that girl is, but he said, Ty, I'm Cuban. We Latin men, we act fast. You should ask her to marry you tonight and go to a courtroom and get married. He said, put a ring on that girl, which I did not do, but I thought it was funny. So that girl, who's very beautiful, more beautiful than almost any girl that has 1 million followers right now, she only has 2,000 followers. It's not that. So that's my answer to you, whatever your name was, something saying. I don't think it's that simple. I do think, I'll give you an example. That's actually a good question. My friend is a guy, and his name is Janelle, and him and his girlfriend are very kind of famous models. Like, he's with Ford in New York City. I don't know who she's with. Women Management. Women is one of the big ones in New York. And Janelle Castillo is his name. And he told me if he doesn't have 10,000 followers, he doesn't book jobs. Like, he'll lose a job to a less qualified model because the brands like H&M or whatever, they want to know that when he's in an ad campaign, it goes viral. So most people aren't models, but the same principle applies. You need to hit a minimum threshold. The good news is you don't have to have 2 million followers. You don't have to have, I grew my Facebook, I did a test, I grew it at about 1 million a week. So I got up to 6 million this year. So I can tell you, you can't grow that fast just by one simple trick, but it'll help you a lot if each of you can get 10,000 followers. If you can get more, it's great. It gets easier. Let me just show you. So on my Instagram, a friend told me this a long time ago. When I was first starting out on Instagram, I probably had like 50,000 followers. He said to me, Ty, it's gonna get easier. If you get 1 or 2 million, someone here? Yeah, they can come here, yep. Just bring people through the kitchen. So he goes, it's gonna get easier to get more. And now, if you look, you can see my Instagram growth if you go to a website called Social Blade. But I'll just give you an example here. Let me just see. I keep a daily log of my growth. I haven't looked today, but a day or two ago, I grew 22,000 Instagram followers in one day. So it's easier now because people come, they look at your critical mass, they go, oh, if 1 million people follow Ty, 2 million people follow Ty, then he must be good, even if I'm an idiot. So you got to get in on that game. You need to get in on that minimum threshold, okay? Who here has over 10,000 followers on all the main platforms? I'm not saying you need them, but let's just do a quick survey. Who here has 10,000 on all of them? Not me. Does anybody? Jay Fleming, I think you're lying, but maybe you're not. Do you really have 10,000 on all? You have it on Twitter? You have it on YouTube? 2,500, 100 followers, someone said. Automobile Exotica said on their other account. What else? Okay, so let's keep going. What else do you need to know? You might think that, okay, I know that. Number two, you need to have priority order. I'm finishing up a little video. If you don't, you can watch there, hang there for a second. So here's the thing on priority order. If you're trying to get more followers, you can't do it all at once. Some of you are gonna make the mistake, you're gonna try to grow on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, like all at once. So the average person does this. They like Insta, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Snap, podcast, email lists. Like these are all different marketing channels and social media outlets, right? And so they'll be like, let's get 100 a day on all of these, or whatever, 100 a month, whatever your goal is. And so they do what's called the democratic way, where it's like equal. But that's not the way that you get a lot of social media followers. Because here's a principle of light in the universe. If you take light and you like spread it out, it's kind of like a light bulb in your house. It's just, it lights up the whole room. If you take all the light and you focus it down, it becomes like a laser, and that's how you cut through diamonds. Diamonds are the, hardest, one of the hardest materials in the world. So if you feel like it's hard for you to grow your social media, you got to take the laser light focus concept. You need to focus down, and you need to grow in order. So for me, I didn't know, unfortunately when I started, there was no one around to like teach me. And even now, there's really no books on it. I mean, have you ever looked at the books that are on social media? Most of the books, I'd say 90% of them, maybe 99, are written by people who have never even had 1 million followers. So it's crazy. I even see people, I saw a guy selling a course on how to grow your Instagram, and he only has like, I don't know, a small amount of followers. So be careful. And when I started, like I made this mistake. I didn't know about the priority order, laser light focus. And I was like every day posting across all of them. And you can still do that, but it's better to focus. So like I said, when I focused on my Facebook only, I've grown as fast as 150,000 a day on Facebook. The fastest I've probably ever done in one day on Instagram is maybe 100,000 or something like that. You can pull them up a chair, so they don't have to be behind you guys, blocked and everything like that. So by doing priority order, you can end up over time, over the next year, you can end up with all of them bigger. So that's what, so the question is, let's do a guess. What do you think the priority order should be? What do we have? What's number one you should focus on if you're trying to grow your social media? I'll take a little, somebody said Facebook, somebody said YouTube, somebody said Insta. What else? What's the priority word? LinkedIn. I don't use LinkedIn that much, but you can certainly grow LinkedIn. It's good, especially if it's kind of a weird social network in my experience, but What else do we have? Snapchat, someone said grow first. Anybody else? Okay. YouTube. Someone said, I don't know. Someone said radio. Someone said Twitter. I just passed 1 million on Twitter like 2 days ago. Someone said Pornhub. I don't think that's a social network. That's just, you have to put them. Oh, where are you putting? Right here. Okay. Already. I was just saying like right there. It's just you guys were standing in front, so people just get to sit there and see your back, which is slightly weird. Okay. So here's what I recommend. Someone said podcast. I think you should just use simple math. What's the biggest social media network there is? Someone said MySpace. Fail. So the biggest one is right here. Facebook has, it says around 2 billion registered members. So why not start with the biggest one, crack the code on the biggest one. The second one, it depends on how you count it. Like email also is pretty big, but that's for another conversation. WeChat is big, but it's only in China. So that's not very good. You know what I mean? Like it's like not in all countries. Most of these are in every country. China's its own exception. I don't do much in China, so I'm not gonna speak much on that, okay? So, what else do we got? Oops, damn. Next, I would say, in some ways, I would say Instagram. Instagram has about 100 million. You can sit there if you want. You don't have to. 100 million people that watch. So it's pretty big. Tinder. Somebody said Tinder. You know, it's funny. The founder of Tinder was here at my house. There's like a co-founder. So the co-founder was here last night. Did you see it on my Snapchat? And we were talking about Tinder. Tinder, they don't disclose their numbers. But Tinder's massive. And they're even in China. I didn't realize. They're a really big ass company. But I wouldn't necessarily hold on. Okay. So I'm gonna say, forget. You're not gonna go. Who here is gonna build an account on Tinder? Okay, I'd say Instagram second. Probably has 100 million active. Maybe they say 300 million. I've seen, depending on what statistic you look. So I'll go 1, 2, but I would go over here, email, pretty soon. I like Snapchat. Look, YouTube, I've just passed 1 billion minutes on YouTube, so obviously I like YouTube. So, yeah. What else? Someone said, youngest generation does Twitter the most. Nah, it's not actually that simple. It's not just, actually Twitter's older generation. I wouldn't say Twitter's young. Twitter have old people on Twitter. Snapchat's young. Email's old, Facebook's older, YouTube is all ages. YouTube is like, Warren Buffett says the only thing he watches on the internet is YouTube. So he's 80, he's almost 90. So you can go everywhere. Somebody said Twitter is shit. Not really. I mean, Twitter's powerful. It elected a president. I predicted on camera 2 months ahead of time that Donald Trump would win because it doesn't matter if you like Donald Trump or not. He had quadruple the engagement of Hillary Clinton. Like, Hillary didn't understand. What I'm teaching you guys today, like, literally you can build an empire. You can become a president, like, because you know how to do, you know, Twitter. It's like insane world. Like, name another time in history that, hold on, I gotta make a phone call. In history that you literally could become president without spending money on TV ads. Just, hey, did you see what I said? Just ring the gate there. Just ring the gate. I bet you can find it. About 1,000 people have found their gate. Do you want me to send somebody out? Hello? There, I sent somebody out. Can you go out? Lord help us all on planet Earth. Okay. Any president before TV was invented? Yeah, but back before TV, they used newspapers. Presidents like in the 1840s, that was all newspaper primarily. Got people, that's how people got elected. But I'm saying Twitter, you don't have to buy anything. Donald Trump didn't buy his Twitter followers. He went viral. He had a minimum critical mass like I talked about already. He obviously was running for presidency, so you get even more volume. So Twitter, don't sleep on any of these. Snapchat is part of why Kylie Jenner made $430 million. And podcasts, there's people, I got a buddy there's tons of people making money with podcasts. The top ones are making $1 million a month, maybe more. But podcast is like strategic. Like this morning, I was the number 2 business podcast in the world. It bounces up and down, and podcast is a powerful tool. But I just started recently working on my podcast. I told you got to do things in order. I let my other stuff grow first, and then I did it. Someone said Snapchat, rest in peace. They're gonna go bankrupt. I'm like, we'll see. We will see. Who here thinks Snapchat's gonna go bankrupt? Someone said Hook Snap. Is that another weird app? Is there an app called Hook Snap? Somebody's making that up. Hook Snap. Hold on. All right. And this is definitely live because, as you can tell, I'm doing other things at the same time. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. How is Snap going to be bankrupt? Hey, Facebook, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, if he pulls it off, he will definitely try to kill Snapchat. He probably wakes up every day and tries to figure out how to kill Snapchat because he tried to buy it and they didn't sell it. They didn't like that. Someone said, Ty, how do you get your beard to look so good? Does it look good? Looks normal, huh? What does a not good beard look like? Maybe if you don't have anything there. How do you get your beard to look good? I think be genetics. Be born with the dad. My dad could grow a full beard, so I can grow a full beard. Somebody said grooming. Somebody said beard is whack. Okay, one guy doesn't like the beard. As long as a man doesn't like how you look, you're good. If a whole bunch of women start saying you look bad, never ask men for fashion advice. Or very few men. There's a few that know what they're talking about. Okay. Someone said people are stupid asking if it's live when they can comment. Hey, I know, man. Like, people are a little bit kooky. All right. Where are we at next? Oh, yeah. Number 3. I don't know if I'm going to get to all 5. Jeez, I keep running out of time. Number 3 thing. How I got 11 million social media followers. Somebody said black don't crack. What does that have to do somehow with social media? Some of the comments, I swear, I should just do one live stream where I just read people's comments. Because I feel like some people, what's that Tourette's disease? Where you just say whatever's on your mind. People are like, fuck, blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure some people on here have Tourette's. Maybe legitimately, and some people will just pretend they have it. All right, the third thing that I would say is, we talked about the laser focus. So if you're gonna grow Facebook first, right? How do you do it? How? Because it's easy to say you should do it, but what if you don't know how to do it? So I would say, someone said Ty is not black. I did my DNA and I'm 5.9